Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. I'm Ross Morasso, and my guest today, Tammie Lowell, master herbalist, Native American from the Lakota Nation, residing out of Florissant, Colorado. Now, she has a chain, I think, at this point, of holistic remedies, herbal medicines, CBDs, skin cares, with recipes often going back hundreds and hundreds of years, if not longer. So she is not your general good person that just happens to like organic products. This is actually part of who she is. And we've had her on the show before, and it's always been a fascinating conversation. So I welcome you back, Tammie. How you doing?
Thanks, Ross. I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. How is Oyate Herbals doing these days?
We're doing great. Getting more clients, helping out more people. It's a wondrous life. I can't complain.
So you can, for those of you listening, can find her site, which is oyateherbals.com, and that's Oyate herbals.com. So what are people coming into the store for these days? What are you hearing most about? What's the chatter?
It goes back and forth. Of course, we've, trying to get through the flu season and all of that stuff. So a lot of people are that, a lot of sleep aids, a lot of stress right now. We've always a popular thing is all of my skincare products. They're always really, really, really popular. Everybody wants to be, doing what's right for their body in any way, shape, or form.
Now, we haven't talked about skincare products on any of the previous shows. So when you say skincare products, do you mean something along the lines of like face moisturizers?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. When we're looking at skincare products or even just the beauty industry, it covers so many facets, from makeup to moisturizers to even sunscreens. So, this is stuff, shampoos, conditioners, deodorants, that's all made up of a $40 billion industry out there.
Do you have herbal sunscreens?
I do. I have a total chemical-free sunshade that is even safe for babies. The FDA, what's interesting, because the FDA actually regulates our sunscreens.
Right.
Yeah. So, but mine is totally chemical free. I wonder why they have to regulate it, because we got chemicals.
Well, you're right. And something about the skincare industry or the beauty industry as a whole, the FDA doesn't regulate skincare products as a general rule. They'll regulate, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's just certain ingredients and things out there that they'll ban or are regulated. But
Correct.
if you created a new face line, you would not have to submit that to the FDA, right?
No. Uh-uh.
But sunscreens do come with just boilerplate like regulation on what can and can't be in them and their effectiveness and stuff, right?
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Correct. And they put out these things that says SPF of 50 and totally blocks out the sun, which really, nope, you're not going to get anything stronger than about a 30.
Okay.
And that's it.
And do your herbal line, do they do an SPF equivalent of something like 30?
Yeah. Mine makes up to about a 30. It has organic carrot seed oil and raspberry seed oil, which are a natural SPF alone. But I also add organic zinc oxide. I don't know if you remember back when the lifeguards, you'd see all that white on their nose and everything. Right. Yeah, that's a form of that had zinc oxide in it. The nice part is mine don't turn you white, but it's still effective and totally safe for babies. If you go on the website, it's called Kinua Sihui, which means blocking of the sun in Lakota.
So are there translations for those on your websites? We can find that stuff?
There is. Yeah.
Okay. So what about people who have very sensitive skin? Do you have stuff that works for that?
I do.
And not just sunscreen, by the way, like anything. I just want to hear about like sensitive skin stuff.
I have 19 different flavors, as I call them, because I don't like to use fragrances, because I use different herbal lotions. So I use a base of jojoba oil. So jojoba is the closest to our own natural CBM. So you don't get a lot of allergic reactions. Actually, scientists use jojoba in the labs to simulate natural CBM so they can do their testing, especially if they're testing, hopefully not on animals. They're using it, but they can use it on actual humans and see how it works. But yeah, jojoba is your closest thing to your own natural CBM.
What when you say CBM, explain that to us. What is that?
Your CBM is your skin, your the oils in your skin.
The oils in your skin.
Correct. Yes.
So when they use jojoba in sort of their testing, is it if they mix it together with certain other ingredients, they can see like if the jojoba seems to react to it or something?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. And it is the closest that you can get. Coconut oil is a close second. And those don't have a lot of reactions. Basically, most of the ingredients that are in natural products are going to be safer. I mean, all of the synthetics, I mean, you think about some of the different ones like parabens, lauryl sulfate, the different chemicals that are inside of those. It creates inflammation. Mineral oil, it can clog the pores of your skin. Then you don't get any oxygen, to the skin. Then what do? Then we have issues. So, and I'm, like I said, I could get very technical, but I'm trying to keep it on layman's terms as much as possible.
Sure.
But all of these different chemicals are so harmful. And 60% of what we put on our skin absorbs into the bloodstream.
Mm.
So you're not just taking it onto your skin, you're actually absorbing it. So yeah, that can cause major issues even internally with all of these chemicals, and you figure, okay, so you have chemicals in your shampoo and your conditioners. So there you go. You just put that on your body. It's all over your body. You've just done that. Then you get out, then you put deodorant on, then you put lotion on. So how many of these chemicals on a regular basis are you putting on your body and absorbing on a regular, day-to-day basis?
Hair products, right? That can get under your scalp.
Mm-hmm.
So with the standard, I'll call it, beauty industry, what are some of the ingredients, I'd say, in their products do you find most objectionable? Like what are things that we should be really concerned about? And then what are some things that there's like a lot of questions about that you feel as though they're being pretty cavalier about using, but we don't know yet that they're bad, but it probably we should take a breath here. So those sorts of two categories. What are a couple of ingredients that you don't like that you see a lot?
Petroleums. They use a lot of basically the same things that they're putting in antifreeze, they're putting inside of our skincare products. So you've got petroleums, you got parabens, you have sulfates, I think one of probably the most common ones is the parabens and the sulfates. Those are in your shampoos and your like deodorants, lotions. So
with these sorts of chemicals, and as I'll just kind of say it more nicely, ingredients.
Right.
Yeah. What are they labeled as? Are there different sort of iterations of what you might see on the label, but if you see it, you're like, oh, that's actually a petroleum or a sulfate or something? Or do they say it directly?
Oh yeah. And there's several different ones. I know that there are different, and this might just be great information for different people, but there are different apps out there that you can actually scan, like a barcode, and it'll tell you what's inside of it. So that way you can go, because there's so many out there. And I mean, and I could list these on and on and on, but everybody is just going to be like, okay, I can write a few down, but realistically trying to keep track of every single one of them. I mean, me being an herbalist and being around this all the time and studying all of this as a phytotherapist, it's easy for me to take and look at a label and go, oh yeah, this is junk. Or, for people who don't have the education that I do, get an app and scan it and see, and it'll tell you what different things that might possibly be in there that could be harmful to your skin or to your body.
Right. Now, you hear people always say, listen to your body, right? So if one of
Right.
us is putting something on our skin and it seems like it's working and it's not making our skin red or puffy or we don't feel weird after it, doesn't that mean that it's fine?
No, no, totally disagree. No, it takes time for this stuff to build up into your system.
Mm.
These I call quiet killers because you don't know, especially if you're a healthy person. You can do a lot of things. You can expose yourself to all of this kind of stuff. I mean, if we look back, hey, they put asbestos inside of buildings for years and we didn't know anything about it until people started getting asbestos poisoning, many, many years later. This is where people need to wake up. It's time to wake up, get an awakening, think about the things that you're doing. As a Lakota woman, we take a stand on looking at anything we do to ourselves, the environment, the planet, whatever we do is going to affect 7 generations ahead.
Mm.
So if you start thinking that way, what's going to happen 7 generations ahead? You start living a little bit more carefully.
So like I've got something here. This is from Target, right, for your face, and it's 4 ounces big, right? This is designed to be used for the face. It's just some standard line. I think that they would say it competes with or compared to like Neutrogena or something. It's some oil free, designed for sensitive skin. And that has its own price, right? If it's not on sale, you're probably looking at somewhere around 10, $12, without getting, and then certainly you can find facial products that can be less than 4 ounces or even less than 2 ounces. That can be $40 to $80. I mean, it's just things can go way up, right? So with your products, without getting into like the exact specifics, where would you sort of say the tier falls in for people looking to do that? So if I say I want to do natural stuff, okay, so I want to do this herbal line, but is my $12 skin cream now going to start costing me $95 at your store?
No. I try and keep my prices very reasonable. That way people can enjoy this. Unfortunately, I have my issues with the herbal industry as well.
Yeah.
When it comes to their pricing, there is no reason why we're doing a 3 to a 600% markup on our products. I'm out there for the people. I want people to get good quality products, good quality medicines, so that way they can live a healthier, happier lifestyle. I mean, if it doesn't start with you, where's it going to start?
Would you say that when it comes to the, herbal and the natural ingredients and products, not everything agrees with every person, right? We all
Correct.
different
Yes,
skin sets and everything
absolutely.
else. So as we were saying before, when you're using all these chemicals from the traditional industry, you can put them on your face and not notice, for long, long periods of time that they might be bothering you. Do you find that the natural products, if they happen to be disagreeable to your skin, I often hear it called the skin microbiome or something like that?
Yes,
Um,
yes. Good job.
okay, so I'll ask you about that in a second. So that is it easier to tell if things don't agree with you when you're dealing with more natural products to begin with?
It does. It does. I mean, it takes herbs 2 weeks to build up into the system to its maximum potential.
Okay.
But I mean, realistically, unless you've got like, maybe a peanut allergy, nut allergies, or, some people, react to strawberries, things like that. So those I think come on very quick because somebody has an allergy to that. But in the natural skincare industry, you don't have the allergens because you don't have the synthetics that's in there. Not only that, you're also, by supporting that, you're also helping to keep the footprint on the environment down, because all of these chemicals that we're putting into that's also going back into the environment. I'm also thinking about how they test and doing all the things with testing on animals and things like that. In the natural industry, in the organic industry, we're not doing that. So you're looking at cruelty free. So you're doing so much more for the environment, for yourself, for the animals, by supporting the holistic, organic and natural small businesses.
Sure. So for those of us who didn't catch me at the top of the show, I'm talking with Tammie Lowell, master herbalist and Native American from Lakota Nation. She's in Florissant, Colorado, with a few stores. And you can find her at oyateherbals.com. That's Oyate herbals.com. So, Tammie, I had said this microbiome for our skin, but I was just trying to sound smart. So what does that even mean? So explain that to me.
Yeah, I mean, and I know you used it as just a metaphor, but I really love the way that you put that, because it's true. You've got this surrounding about you that you need to take care of, and it's very important, and everything that we put on us is huge. It makes a huge difference. So yeah, I loved your the way you had put that. It was so cool. I'm like, yeah, you get it. I mean, I love seeing when the light bulbs go on.
But as you are saying, everything sort of interacts with everything else, and that's where the tough work comes in for you, right? Because people say,
Yes.
"Oh, this didn't work for me. Or this did work for me." Well, how much sleep are you getting? What altitudes are you at? Right? How much sun are you getting? What else are you eating? And what other products are you using? And so on and so forth, right? Like, what's your house like? Do you have mold growing in there? I mean, do you ever find yourself trying to be like an investigator for people?
All the time. All the time. Yeah, I mean, it is, that's why I keep a log of all my clients that get on, and then we bite off a little bit at a time on all of the hodgepodge of things that they may have going on. And yeah, we look at environment, we look at diet, we look at sleep patterns, we look at exercise, we look at all of that, because if we can find a natural balance for that individual, that's when they strive.
Earlier we were talking about that they have these apps online. One that I like is called Yuka, Yuka. And you
Yeah,
can,
I'm aware of it.
yeah, it's free, right? And so for anyone listening, you can scan a product, the barcode, and it'll tell you the objectionable ingredients and give it a score from 1 to 100. And stuff that I had been using for quite a while that I thought I liked was scoring like a 14 out of 100.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of goes to points to how we don't really know. It could say gentle, it could say, well, organic is regulated, but it could say, free and clear and non-comedogenic and all those sorts of things. And right. With it being self-regulated, I mean, how much of this stuff can we really trust?
Yeah. And let's touch on that for a minute.
Yeah.
Because you can get products out there that say organic. Well, because it's not regulated, one organic thing, then they can label it organic. Look for certified organic, because certified organic means that all of the products, or all of the herbs and all of the stuff in there, has been tested to be proven to have no pesticides, no parabens, no chemicals, no herbicides, all of those non-GMOs. So there's a difference. I mean, even the organic industry, and I think about, there's, out of a $40 billion industry, 9 billion of that is the natural and organic part of it. So it's growing.
Right. It's about 25%.
It's a small part,
yeah.
But it is growing. So at least it's getting out there. I think more people are becoming more health conscious, as the diseases rise, cancers rise, things like that. People are thinking about that. Okay, better late than never. But it is something that we really need to think about. I mean, it blows my mind to think 60% of what I am exposed to, that I'm putting on my body, is going directly into my bloodstream. And I probably put lotion on my hands a couple of times a day. Most women do.
So you said earlier that you had stuff that you have says safe for babies. Did I hear that right?
Yes. Any of my lotions, my sunscreens, are all safe to put on babies. My healing salve makes a great diaper rash, where cream, where it helps heal a diaper rash, where you're not using all of the chemicals or powders. I mean, everybody used to put baby powder on babies back in my day. Yeah, well, they found out that it was bothering their lungs. So, we've grown so much. I'm just kind of surprised that everybody isn't totally on the bandwagon of being able to understand why we need this. I know a lot of it is finances, because some people, it's like, okay, well, I need lotion, but I can only have $2. I'm gonna pick up a cheap bottle of lotion. But in the long run, is it worth it?
Right. I mean, for me, I've had a sensitive face my whole life. Like I'll blow up red if I don't use good stuff. So I never had the luxury of the $2 stuff.
Right.
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 But I've also had plenty of stuff that was $25 and it did the same thing. You just seem to never can tell, with all of these more like designer lines, how much of them or how often is there really any sort of breakthrough versus just a smashing looking label?
I think a lot of it's a smashing looking label, because you can look at that. I mean, I have picked up so many different things in the stores and read on it. And I just, I'm like, yeah, right. No way. I look at it. It's a beautiful bottle. It's a beautiful presentation. And unless you turn it over and you know what you're looking for, that bottle can be so great, but it's got all kinds of stuff. I mean, one of the things that they put in shampoos, so that way, you have to buy more shampoo or buy more lotion, is alcohol. Alcohol dries the skin, alcohol dries the hair, all these different things. You're not going to make money on things if it actually works. They've got to put something in there to keep you coming back. Yeah, it makes my hair soft, but it's going to dry it out in 6 months. So
that was something I always found wild, that skin lotions and face lotions would have alcohol in it. Is there any sort of benefit to the compound or to the lotion why they would put alcohol in it, or is it strictly just this detriment thing to try to keep you using more of it so that it actually dries out your skin and it's counterproductive?
It can be used. Alcohol is a preservative. So
okay,
they mask it as a preservative, but it's a win-win for them. Well, we'll use this, but in the long run, 6 months, 8 months down the road, we're going to dry the skin out. So they have to come back and buy more. I literally, at different shows that I do, my lotions are made up of jojoba and coconut oils. There's nothing else in them. I will have ladies put the lotion on, go into the bathroom, wash their hands, and come back and they're like, it's still on. I'm like, yeah, because it's an oil based. There's no chemicals in it. So you do that with a regular lotion. You put lotion on your hands, you go wash your hands, you put lotion on again, because that's what ideal. That water helps to wash everything off, activate some of the other chemicals, and now it dries your skin out even more. So you need more lotion.
What do you call your face line?
Comfort Mountain.
Okay. Comfort Mountain.
Comfort Mountain.
So, something along the lines of alcohol being used as a preservative, right? Because alcohol kills bacteria. So maybe like that's why it's looked at as a preservative. So along those lines, do you have lotions or remedies that are sort of like the same thing you use for like a Neosporin or something, to like help with cuts or bruises?
I do. I have, it's called my healing salve.
Okay.
And it, of course, it has a jojoba base. It has mullein, calendula, tea tree oil, aloe vera. So it has a mild antiseptic in it. I tell every parent, hold on to this because it's great for those boo-boos. It has comfrey in it. Comfrey helps stimulate new cell growth, so it speeds up the healing process. I actually, if they go on my website, you can look at pictures of people that have had surgery, major ankle surgeries, things like that, and you can see how this scar is pretty much totally diminished, and you won't even see it. It reduces the scarring, reduces inflammation. Yeah, it's a great one, and it's good for pets. You can use it on animals.
And does it work, or can it have some efficacy for like older scars that people have?
It can. Yeah. I actually had a lady who unfortunately she had a daughter who was a cutter. So she had very bad scars on her arms. She wanted to get into the military. And unfortunately, that was not a situation if she had all these scars. And she used that healing salve for 8 months, nonstop, 3 times a day. She got into the military because it reduced the scars enough where they were not visible. Yeah.
And what do you call this line?
It's just my healing salve. I
Okay.
have a pain salve and I have a healing salve, which it's my whole line is called Comfort Mountain. So yeah, Oyate Herbals, but all of my product line is Comfort Mountain.
Gotcha. So
Yeah.
when you say pain salve, so all right, so I smash my elbow or something. It's like literally you start putting it on there and it stops it from hurting or reduces it?
It does, yes, yeah. With the comfrey in it, it has comfrey, it has arnica, and it has calendula, which are all three are anti-inflammatories. They're great pain relievers. Once again, the comfrey speeds up the healing process. I've actually seen this pain salve heal torn rotator cuffs and kept people out of surgery.
Wow.
Now they did exactly as I recommended. Kept it immobilized, kept it iced, and used this pain salve. And within 6 weeks, I've had ladies walk up to me that couldn't lift their arm, totally just swing their arm around. Blew my mind. I mean, I knew it was good, but my clients have actually come around and showed me how good some of these products can be.
How long has your store been open? I forget.
We officially was 2012 is when I first started out.
So it's over 10 years.
The new one, yeah, I opened up my second branch just last May.
And where's that one at?
That one's in Lake City, Colorado.
And so then you have one there and then one in the Florissant. Is that where you are now in Florissant?
Correct. Yeah, I'm in Florissant store today. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can people call you for, we only have a couple minutes left. Can people call you for like these consultations about things, if they're not in front of you? Like, can you do Zooms with people ever or whatever if they need to
Absolutely.
figure out?
Oh yeah, do it all the time. Yep. Yeah. The process, if they want to get on my client list as a phytotherapy client, yeah, I can email you the form, you fill it out, email it back to me. We set a time, and yeah, it takes about 30 minutes, and then I can ship you out what recommendations that we agree on.
Okay. So before we go, you tell everybody now. I know I've been giving your website, oyateherbals.com, which is probably ground zero for that, but any other places, let everyone know where they can find you and how they can contact you.
Okay. Well, I have a very huge presence on Facebook. Just look me up under Oyate Herbals. I'm also on Instagram. If you're in Colorado, I do a lot of different holistic fairs and powwows, but the best place to find out where I'm at all the time is follow me on Facebook and Instagram, because I'm always posting, we're going to be here or we're going to be there. My next one is February 18th in Fort Morgan, whole different brand new holistic fair that I was invited to go and attend. So,
and one more time, Oyate Herbals is Oyateherbals. Well, correct. Tammie, it's a pleasure as always. Thank you so much for joining us, and I welcome you back to the show anytime you want to come and talk to us again.
Awesome, Ross. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure to be here.
And thank you all for tuning in. I am Ross Morasso. You know what I'm going to say. Until next time.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.